Hello everyone, and welcome to what is going to be my second live streamed RP-0 campaign. In this one, I'm trying out a mod that Sound and Fury literally just made, which is going to actually make it an asynchronous multiplayer race into space. So, let's hope it all works. Let's hope it all works. I have no doubts. I mean, Saturn Fury is a great programmer, has done lots of great stuff. Is going to be quaking in his, possibly quaking in his boots to see this transmitted live. But there you have it. So it's time. Oh, I should accept contracts first, shouldn't I? I am using PAP's new contracts that will be in the next release of RP-0. So it's going to be an interesting time for me because I haven't actually done RP-0 in a while. I haven't used the new contract configurator at all. Offered milestones, first launch. Let's accept that. I can't accept the Carmen line until I complete this contract. Well, that's easy enough. What do I actually have to do for the first launch? I have to rate of climb greater than 1 meter per second. All right. Okay. So there aren't any other offered contracts, are there? No. All right. So let's see. All right, so we have here our little sounding rocket avionics core, and we need something that will give us more than 1 meter per second rate of climb. Cost. What is the cheapest way to do that? Well, clearly not a propeller engine. Clearly not that. All right. So we're just going to do this then. This is purely to complete this contract. Purely to complete this contract, such that we can unlock the Carmen line contract, which I hope to do on my first actual launch. This costs 58 days, 21 hours. I'm going to have to upgrade some stuff. Definitely going to have to upgrade some stuff. But let's see what happens if we actually increase the cost fairly substantially. What happens to our build time? It went up quite a bit. What if we do a few of these? All right, so we don't actually get that much build time. So let's go ahead and we'll call this the hopper. And I think I actually just want to have one of these. And I want it to be slightly off-center, such that we avoid crashing down on the pad. (272 meters per second. Delta V. Wow. We also need to limit our thrust quite a bit. Let's have a 5-second burn time. This is going to be hilariously not aerodynamically stable, but okay, it's added to the build list. Now I need to do my KCT upgrades. Okay, this is still with the old tech tree because we haven't built a new tech tree yet, so although Pap is hard at work. So let's figure out some upgrades. I could be very ambitious and actually buy an upgrade point, given the funds I have, but I think I want to save that. We'll see how much I'm rolling in dough from stuff. So we're going to upgrade the build rate quite a bit. R&D. 2 of those, and then I think we'll stick the rest in build points. Yeah. Okay. How long for that? 7 days. Before we can get our first thing out. Okay, roll it out. I think I actually want to turn off the CAC integration because it just annoys me. Warp to rollout complete. And because we're actually in a race, I'm going to launch in the dark. And what a rocket it is. It's literally just... I can't see a darn thing, can I? Uh-oh. Why did it flip upside down? That's bad. I've already lost 7 days? You're kidding me. Well, that's annoying. How did I get a uncrewed speed record of 350 meters per second despite not moving? That's confusing. And I've already lost 7 days from that. Hello, everyone who just joined. It is great to see you all. Great to see Provo. Great to see Asmi actually live. I would call... So, like, Sound and Fury will kill me if I actually revert. So let's just recover this thing. Oh, wait, can I KCT recover it? That would be awesome. Let's see. Yes. Recover active vessel. All right. Did that actually gain us anything? I don't know. I think we need a launch clamp. Oh, I think I have to go through it this way to actually load it in the... It's been a while. Let's see. It's going to take a day to recover it. All right. This time we'll just make a launch clamp. That was supremely annoying, and nonetheless an obvious thing to have happen, given how it's actually set up to look. That bumped our cost up by quite a bit, since these cost 10 each, and it will now take almost 7.5 days to build. But we're going to have to do it anyway. So Sound and Fury may well beat me to the Karman line. XShadowX suggests using 3 engines instead of a clamp. Yeah, but if you remember how it tossed and turned when it spawned, I'm worried that that will happen again, even with 3 engines for a stable spawn point. So let me go ahead and sync. Eight days in, I might lose my Kármán line record. We'll see. Oh good, at least this time it'll be a day launch. Which one is which? I think it's this one. Well, an evening launch. I also should have action grouped the science. You didn't learn anything you didn't already know. Yeah, that's expected. All right, well, here we go. Well, we got 40% of that data. So, Space Center. We've now completed a contract. Now we can unlock the Kármán line contract and build an actual rocket. I believe. Signing rocket contract. Signing rocket. So milestone Kármán line. We definitely want that first. How many contracts can I have? A max of 3. All right. How long do I have it? What's the deadline on this? It expires on the 17th, but when is? Well, I'll do it in time. Oh, it's a milestone. I don't think it. Maybe it doesn't actually. It may not actually have a. These things. Yeah, it didn't have a deadline. This has a deadline. This has a Oh, we'll complete it by then. We'll get to 50 kilometers easily. And yeah, we're not doing any of the human stuff. Do I want to spend 10,000 and get an upgrade point? I wasted those. Oh, do I have enough? How much science do I? Oh, that's right. I didn't actually get any science because it died during transmission. So yes, that I spent 2 upgrades were wasted. Yeah. Spoiler, this is not a tutorial campaign. This is a min-maxed out the wazoo campaign. Because I'm trying to beat Sound and Fury. And whoever else joins this. Let's see. Well, let's build a rocket. Now the real question is, and I admit that I'm setting myself up for disaster here because by being the one who's playing first, I'm showing off my strategy, which is a definite disadvantage. But whatever. So my strategy is going to be to try to break the Kármán line on my first launch. And I think I can do that by slightly overburning the wax sustainer. What looks cool? Let's make it green this time. It's actually cheaper to rebuild these things than have a parachute, I think. So we're not going to bother with that. Let's put this down here. Let's put some wings on it. They always start large. Those are still some pretty fat wings. That's looking better. There we are. And oh, I have to think up what to name things. Well, we'll just call it that. It's supposed to be Archer, but it's, yeah, this is supposed to be Archer. So specimens, if you're talking about somebody doing 14 stages of air abuse, was that guided or unguided? Because I was trying to, back before I added guidance to the start, I was trying to do an unguided to orbit with whack engines, and I eventually kind of gave up. Does it need to be that long? That's probably sufficient. Length. So we're going to redline this a little bit. I want to see if the TestFlight interoperability shows up. Rated burn time. Where does it won't tell me what the rated burn time for this is. It'll only tell me what the other ones are. That's a shame. I'm pretty sure it's like 45 or 50 seconds. So we're going to try to run it to a minute and hope we get lucky. Oh, right. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, I need to middle click on these things. Oh, and it hasn't been researched either. It was supposed to start. Oh, no, that's flight data. I think there's supposed to be an amount of research that gets applied when you actually start. I hope that's the case. But let's see. Test flight. Why is there no test flight thing down here? That's weird. How am I supposed to do R&D if it... Oh, this way. It's not actually... Oh, I guess it starts as fully... Ah, yes. It does have start data beyond what you could normally research, so that's why I can't research it at all. Let's move these down some. Okay, and a nose cone. Wait, 3. That looks about right. I think we want sharp. OGO is fine. Make it a little longer and give it some nice... We'll make a black nose cone because why not? All right, so let's double check this again. Rated burn time 50 seconds. So we get another 5 seconds free, I believe. So we're only 5 seconds past its actual red line. I think we can stretch this a little more. Let's try a minute 5 seconds. Or slightly less. So that's redlining it a little bit. That's still not the best delta V. I'm not sure we'll actually hit the Kármán line that way. All right. So now we're, what, about 12 seconds over the limit. Hopefully we'll be okay. I'll stick with the Proc decoupler. And a tiny Tim. and put some big old wings on here. There. That should broadly be aerodynamically stable. Wow, it's weird to see the reflection working. I'm so used to it not working. I think it's working. All right, so check staging. Those go together. Oh, I probably should take some instruments with me, shouldn't I? Although that will make things expensive. How much more expensive? We're already at 53. I think I care rather more about the milestone than I care about the science. So I'm going to build one of the... Wait, 8 days. Oh, let's see what the marginal cost of adding these on. Barely changed it. All right, so we might as well do this then. Where's... All right, action groups. 1, analyze telemetry. 2, log temperature. 3, log pressure. Now let's, with snap on, center these things. Put the nose cone back on. Okay. Oh, and Ferrum is reminding me to action group the science. For once I remembered, Ferrum. For once I remembered. I usually don't. It's true. Let's put stock alike on here because that looks slightly better. All right. So now we need a launch clamp. Where's the other launch clamp? Here we are. Oh, they're the same price, so it doesn't matter. And let's not kill our launch pad. Oh, that looks a bit too curved. Let's see. That should be about right, I think. Oh, actually, we will get slightly better specific impulse by starting high up rather than right at the pad level. We need to put that in that stage. All right, so I think this thing will work. Not going to bother with a parachute because it would take as long to recover it and then rebuild it as it would to just build another one. And I'm going to build a couple of these because the first one might fail horribly. And I'm not going to fin stabilize it. I'm not going to spin stabilize it because that can lead to precession quite rapidly. I'm just going to aerodynamically stabilize it and it should be fine. So let's see how this goes. Can I recycle this? I can scrap it because we're not going to use it again, that's for sure. Let's warp to this. Roll it out. Launch it. Well, time to start crossing fingers and crossing T's, dotting I's, hooking L's, whatever else we do. And let's see whether this works. And let's see whether I can get to the Kármán line with this. I'm not sure we'll actually quite make the Kármán line. Hopefully we will. We'll see. This is highly pressurized, I believe. So, nothing you didn't already know. Nothing. Nothing. So, science from shores in all cases. We're moving pretty fast. Still over the shores. We're in the stratosphere. So the goal we're racing towards is beating the crap out of everybody else. The first step in that path is reaching the Kármán line by like the 15th day of the campaign. No, it's actually like the 21st or something, isn't it? What day is it today? Where's Kerbal alarm clock? It will tell me somewhere in here. Where's the little... Oh no! I had a shutdown. I had a performance loss and then a shutdown. That's tragic. It's the 24th of January, 1951. And... oh! We actually... ha! Ha ha! I wasn't even paying attention. Our apogee is 155 kilometers, even with that shutdown. And that shutdown occurred about 7 seconds early. So, we're golden. We are golden. If not for that first failure, this would have been 7 days earlier. We're past the Kármán line. Boy, have we gotten a lot of records. 27,000 funds, 630 for all these records. And we completed the sounding rocket contract. Mach 4, first launch. Still in the upper atmosphere. We're just about to reach actual space by KSP's lights. That nav ball looks like that because I'm using Principia, finally. There we are. Now we're in space. Well, that was a highly, highly successful first launch. Well, first real launch after that, after the abortive Hopper 1 and the hilarious Hopper 2. Oh, it's still transmitting that. All right. So that was, I kind of didn't expect that to work. It did mean we were a bit optimistic in terms of burn time on this thing, but that's how it goes. Where's TestFlight when you need it? It's somewhere in here, isn't it? Let's see. Oh, yeah, there it is. Okay. So we gained some data. Why won't this switch? Oops. That's fine. All right, so yeah. We're back to the upper atmosphere. We're still in Earth shores, though. Apparently we didn't arc the thing over enough, which is not awesome. I thought we were arcing enough, but we were not. All right, at some point that apogee's, yep, that apogee's starting to decrease, which means we're getting some drag. At some point, air will be enough to snap us around instead of falling back first. So I did not point over to the right quite enough, but I was really unsure of whether we would hit space. Yeah, it does look like we're about to we're about to bombard the coast of Florida. Great friend of mine lives in New Smyrna Beach. Was actually there last April, not like a month ago, but a year ago April. We saw the from New Smyrna Beach. We saw the launch of that Falcon 9 that first landed on a barge. Let's see whether we actually do land in the lake. It looks like we're going to, which is great. Which means hopefully we only hit a boater rather than like a house. Assuming we don't burn up, which we might. The wings might burn up. Yeah, the wings are going to go. Or not. Maybe we'll survive. What man can know? Oh yeah, they went. Okay. And it ripped up the fuselage too. So it's literally just the... Ooh, I can try to get some more science. I did not notice that. Before we go over the horizon from the Cape. Or hit the ground, of course. That's another option. Oh, 95% transmitted. That's brutal. Okay, there's literally no way that should have worked, but it all actually worked like a charm. So that's shocking. And the most depressing part is that because I'm the one who's literally streaming this and going first, everybody else is going to see exactly what I did and can mimic it and do it faster because they won't screw up with that first launch. But that's okay. Handicaps are fine. Let's see what other contracts we have. Milestones. Yeah. We ain't doing either of those, that's for sure. I mean, I can break the sound barrier. That's easy enough. I'd like to have the X1 cockpit to do it. So, those sweet, sweet milestones. Let's see what parts we have right the heck now. Piano Josh says, to be fair, the other participants probably didn't actually work on the game itself. So they didn't actually work on KSP itself, but I mean, Pap wrote the contracts, and Sound and Fury has a bunch of commits. So what cockpits do we have that might possibly go supersonic? What is its skin max temperature? 350, 450. All right, that could probably just barely survive. What is the actual wording? I think it's 1 minute supersonic. How do you hit the moon from Baikonur? You launch during a launch window, which you basically get once a month when the moon is at its ascending or descending node. And basically, you launch how the Russians did it for Luna 2, if memory serves, is you launch polar such that you're going to hit the equator on your trajectory. Then you coast, or in the Russians' case, run your verniers until you're at the right point to fully light up, and then you can do your burn. It's basically, it's just like going geostationary from the Cape. It's the same exact technique. You launch such that you hit the equator, and you do your transfer burn around the equator, such that you hit the moon's AN or DN around when the moon does. And that's how you do it. Human contracts. Oh, it doesn't even say what the duration is. I'm pretty sure you have to do it for a minute. Oh, no, those might be the other contracts. Maybe this is only... Do you really only have to reach 340? Okay, this might actually be fairly trivial. Now I kind of have to check just to see whether that's actually the case. Human milestones. Make the sound barrier. I thought there was a duration thing. Pat may have changed it. I don't know. Parameter, new vessel when crew break sound barrier. Yeah, reach state. All right. Yeah, that's actually quite... That's way easier than I remembered it being. Specimen Spiff says there's a way to do it with a polar orbit. There's a way to do it with any orbit that crosses the equator. All right, let's... Why the heck not? Let's go ahead and accept this. Do we have a sounding rocket contract? Medium. No, we're not going to hit 420 km yet. We could build a bigger rocket, but we don't need the funds that badly. First artificial satellite. I can't guarantee... Well... Huh. Do I want to go for early orbit? How much does pad cost upgrade? Pad costs 112,500 to upgrade. That's expensive. We're already at 65. Oh, let me look. How much will this give me? This gives me 28. How much does this give me? Aha. All right. So I could take that, get the advance, upgrade the launch pad, and then I could do an A4 to orbit, which I've done in the past. And we could have the first satellite by like 1952. Or however long it takes that pad to upgrade, plus however long it takes to build the rocket. So that, I think I might do that. I haven't done an early satellite since my Soviet playthrough. So we know we're going to want that because that gives us supersonic wings. And as you can see, those fins burnt off. So we're going to research that. We know we want, that gives us better tanks. This gives us the avionics that we'll really want quite badly, because it gives us some light payload. This gives me more science and the first upper stage avionics, decent lower stage avionics. This gives me all the engines ever. Baby Sergeant, AJ-10, X405. Where did the RD-103 go? Oh, no, it's in here because it's the RD-100 now. Because I think Phineas Freak made that change. Isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, it is. Okay. So, why not? I'm going to go for early orbit. Why the heck not? Which do I care more about? So Baby Sergeants would be nice. And that gives me the XASR-1 upgrade to the wax sustainer. And then we'll also take this. And early construction can wait a bit because we don't actually need better tanks yet. Let's see how long all this will take. $45 days, and then, okay, so it's 45 days per science point. That's depressing. However, we did get some upgrades. Our build rate is fine, so let's increase research. So we're gonna first launch a dude supersonic, or a woman. We have many, many choices for our astronauts. This is going to be it's going to be sort of like Project Adam, although we're not actually, this is not going to survive a suborbital flight. We're just going to get up to about 15 kilometers, I think. Procedural nose cone. It has decent thermal properties. That visually looks about right. That looks bulgy. Oh geez, I forgot the whole point where I'm not reverting and not simulating. So hopefully nobody dies, because that would be sad. Main 6. Let's do our usual stuff, which is we'll deploy nice and early. And the drogue we will wet mass in both cases. Target altitude 2500, 50, 4500, and cut at 2450. Settings applied. All right, so 72 kilos of case, and so 120 kilos of parachute. We'll call this high jump, which I think the actual project was Project High Jump. Oh, that actually meant we went up in mass some. Where's KH planes? There. So let's apply the parachute properties again. Slightly larger parachute. All right. Yes, real Rocketeers do a ton of sims. I'm doing this mostly because I'm too lazy to install Crash. So, no sims. Now, what would really be nice would be... Where's the all moving? All right. 45 and 4 of these things. What would be really be nice is if it remembered the settings from before, but it did not. Oh, I didn't save this default. But save as default never used to work for me, so I sort of gave up on doing it. This will give us some control. Thin wings, not very long, not very wide. All right. Interesting. We're not stable yet. We're still not stable. Fair, why are we not stable? It's interesting. That is not what I expect. How heavy are we? 1.5 tons. I guess we should put some ballast in the nose. Lead ballast. Okay. So 200 kilos of lead ballast right in the nose. Let's see. That appreciably brought things forward. Let's do a sweep again. That's much more stable. All right, and we can sweep these less. All right, how are we supersonic? And how are we transonic? All right, that's fine. Okay. We're almost 2 tons. Yeah, X Shadow X is right. Let's try decreasing the lead a little bit. Hey, come on. There we are. Yeah, that's fine. All right, and that brought us down 100 kilos. So this campaign, for those of you who just joined, is RP-0 in 1.2 using PAP's new contracts and using Sound and Fury's Race into Space asynchronous multiplayer mod, where we're basically racing each other to see who can get milestones the earliest in game time. So I am trying to go supersonic, and I'm also going to try to put a satellite in orbit before 1953, probably. Where's, oh, they're in no, they're here now. Interstage adapter. 216, how expensive does this make it? That's pretty expensive. That's shockingly expensive. That's better. How wide did we estimate? 1.4. Well, that's convenient because that's basically broadly the V2's diameter is 1.6. So we'll bulk out to 1.6 here. Let's put some retros. All right, and interstage conic. That'll do. Should we put some guidance in? Well, it makes it shockingly expensive, but it would let us test this without somebody aboard. But I'm fairly sure this will be okay. The other problem is we don't actually have any kind of abort system. But such is life on the edge. Smooth cone, top. There's green. I like green. And we want, I think, like that. And then we want another tank below it. We want structural. This needs to be structural as well. I think it's 1.6. And there's the A4 engine. This needs to come out a little bit. That lines up pretty well. All right. Now, increase the priority of that slightly. And what's the what is the burn time on this? 75 seconds? 70 seconds. All right. That's fine. Do we actually want that much? No, we don't. We do not want to go suborbital today. Fair, but this is a Gloucester Meteor cockpit, so you open the hatch and you hop out. This is not a fighter jet cockpit. We actually don't have. What's the thrust on that? 307. No. All right. So we actually. We don't have any kind of moderate liquid fuel engine. The only way this thing could survive suborbital, given its thermal limits, is if we brought up a fairly massive retro package and fired it during descent to really slow it down a lot. Man, suborbital is really tempting given the delta V that this gives us, but I don't want this pilot to die, and like they will. 1.630. There we are. Oh, the retros are hidden by the tank now. Let's fix that. All right. Staging. All right, so I'm in at 10. And now we need truly gigantic wings on the bottom. Will it let me do that now? Yes, it did this time. Good. All right. So, width, length, offset. Okay, so this totally looks like something out of 1940s Astounding Stories or whatever. Okay. In we go just a little bit, so it's not clipping. So it's not, doesn't have a dog tooth. This is utterly insane. Let's just throw that out there. This is utterly insane. 3.3 kilometers per second. We could get suborbital with this, but I don't want to risk the temperatures. What we'll do is we'll use it to break the sound barrier. Then, with that amount of money, we'll test with the guidance unit. Let's see how much the guidance would cost. It's 50. It only takes 15 days. Interesting. All right. How much would the guidance unit? $300 All right, so that costs a whole nother 6 days if we put guidance in. But, I mean, I think it's probably only fair to put guidance in. Where's the ring? Let's increase the height a little bit so it doesn't look quite so derpy. All right. God, what a contraption. All right. Yeah, well. Oh, right. Much smarter. Yeah. So that will, well, let's recheck its stability first. But that will at least mean that on reentry, things won't be quite as crazy. Oh, actually, I literally don't care what its stability is subsonic, because by then we'll be dealing with parachutes. Stability at Mach 5. That's not the best. What if we... Oh, that's even worse. Yeah, that's much higher drag. So let's go with that. An abort system would be a great idea, but kind of don't want to spend the mass. And we don't really have explosive failures yet, so okay. All right. Where's structural? All right. Staging. So we're going to build one of these to go supersonic, one of these to test suborbital, and one of these to actually make it, assuming we can do that. Risky business. We know we need 2 of them, so I'll build both. They're not that expensive. Yeah, we need to break the sound barrier before we can do the Carmen line contract anyway. So let's see how this works. Oh, son of a gun. I didn't action group the crew report. Well, that's fine. We don't need this anymore. So let's roll that out. I think I'm going to waste a few hours and make it actually visible outside. All right. So, we ready to break the sound barrier? Why did it give us Jebediah Kerman? I thought I had Kerbal Renamer installed. I do have Kerbal Renamer installed. When I started a sandbox game, it did rename them properly. That's really weird. All right. Well, I'll have to fix that at some point, because they should have not had... Yeah, so I certainly considered putting some solids on the plane, but to not make the parachute too heavy, they'd also have to decouple. And to actually get the plane away, we'd have to probably spend another 500 plus kilograms, and we really don't have that budget. So, all right, let's see if I can fly this by myself. Cross your fingers, everyone. Away we go. Okay, we've broken the sound barrier, and we're just going to cruise on up to the stratosphere, or a little under the stratosphere. Let's decouple our booster. Wait, what? Oh, we have to land again, that's right. All right. Now let's see what kind of control we have with just this. Oh, I should be doing this on my joystick, shouldn't I? We can actually go fairly high alpha with this. That's interesting. Kulini, I believe I have that set to false. Keep originals, but I will check. Let's arm the chute first. And let's quote-unquote fly this thing. Oh, it actually flies not badly. That's hilarious. Let's aim back towards the Cape. We have to pick up speed again, I guess. I really should have done this with my joystick. So I'm having to just tap W correctly. Okay, drogue out. Wonder if I could fly all the way back to land. Not with the drogue out. All right, we'll just touch down offshore, I guess. Yeah, I really, Piano Josh is right. I should have done it X-15 style and had a fin on a decoupler. but I hate landing. I always do badly trying to land. Okay. Yep, we finally built something that flies worse than the shuttle. Got a long way to fall down. Did we already do this one? Yeah, we did. Oh well. We didn't get much science. Not least because the... Oh! Heh. Heh. No, we're not going suborbital with this. Because it has next to no oxygen. Does it have any oxygen, actually? Crude altitude record of 10 kilometers, yes. That's expected. Where's the actual resources display? Yeah, I think it might not have any oxygen. Don't really know what happened there, because I thought it included a little bit of oxygen, but the Proc tank might... I don't know. Maybe that AviationCockpits patch didn't actually quite work the way it was supposed to. Because this is supposed to have like 11 liters of oxygen. TAC will give me probably a minute margin if I run out of oxygen. Speaking of which... Yeah, no food and no water. So why did that have no actual resources when it was supposed to have some life support resources? Probably because we haven't... Oh, because we haven't unlocked them and they're in a module fuel tanks. I think that's probably why. So we might have to hold off on our suborbital shot until we have something that can... So part of the issue here, yeah, I think it's probably just a patch issue, which I will fix at the end of this episode. Which I didn't realize at the time when I approved that pull request. Which was probably why Strato Chief wanted me to actually try it in practice rather than just looking at it. But it's because module fuel tanks respects tech levels. So if you don't have those sub-tanks unlocked, like the sub-tanks for oxygen, food, and water, then it will clobber the resource. Won't let you have the resource at all. If you place the resource outside of a module fuel tanks, then it will let you have that resource, because obviously there's no code in stock to say, hey, you aren't allowed this resource yet. And that's what I did for the Bonanza cockpit and some other cockpits, was not specifically not have them in the module fuel tanks. But when these were patched for the latest RO and a pull request to update them all, I think they were put in module fuel tanks, and that's why they won't work in RP-0. So I'll look into that afterwards. 11 liters of oxygen would not be enough to survive going to the Kármán line, but it would be enough to survive, I think, hitting 50 kilometers and coming back down, maybe. Settle down. That's fairly high water level. So, and now we do get the break the sound barrier. Ding. All right. Now we're doing fairly well. Oh, we almost have enough money to upgrade the pad. So that's great. So let's recover. The alternate approach, of course, would have been, instead of trying to break the Kármán line first, to break the sound barrier crude first. And you can probably do that by the, I don't know, January 15th or so. Oh, she gained some experience. Excellent. Right. What do I have to do to... 60 kilometers. Might be able to do that if we didn't die. But yeah, crude Kármán isn't unlocking. Probably because... Well, let's look. Human milestones. What does this require? Oh, right. You have to... yes. Yes, you have to verify that you can take something uncrewed up and back before they'll let you take a human up and back. But that's fine. Why, that's a new milestone. I think PAP added that. Suborbital trajectory. How is that actually oh, no, it's just KSP suborbital. Okay, so that means 150 kilometers. All right, so that should be a fairly easy milestone to reach. Really should have done that together with the Kármán line one with the parachute. I didn't think of that. Oh well. Can do that easily enough. That will definitely give us enough of an advance to upgrade the launch pad. That's fairly light on the rewards, but all right. 112, 500. All right, these are still with the unmodified pad limits. Well, I mean, unmodified since last time RP-0 ran. Let's see. How long to research these nodes? 300 days. All right. So we could easily do an orbital shot. Actually, we might be able to do an orbital shot with both of those nodes, but we can definitely do an orbital shot even without those nodes if we just have the pad upgraded. So yeah, I think, let me go ahead and sync. Come on. We are. Okay. And save. Survived insanity. And call it quits for there. And it will be up to the rest of the people playing that game to see what they do for the first month and a half of gameplay. So thank you everybody for watching. I hope to see you again soon. If you're watching live, I may or may not do something after supper if you're still awake. Might just be a sandbox game. So yeah, catch you later, and thanks again. Bye-bye.